I guess there's no pre-race commentary for this race? That was weird. And we have a caution. I should have known that was going to happen when there was no commentary. This is now the 5th time that we have had a caution during the national anthem. Oh boy. I'm just going to restart this right now. Nope, don't care. Restarting it right now. Right now. Restart. Terrible. Terrible.
Top 10. Come give me some more.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's edition of NASCAR 22 on the channel. We are racing at the Pocono Raceway for the running of race 21 of 36 on our NASCAR 22 season. 6 races to go in the regular season coming into today's race, and our driver Kevin Harvick is coming off a win at New Hampshire in a 50% race last weekend. Last 2 races, in fact, we finished first and second. Second at Atlanta, came from 4 laps down at one point in that race to end up finishing in second place. It was absolutely insane that we were able to do that, but we did. Harvick now has 7 wins on the season, still leads in the regular season standings as well, and is tied for the most top 10s this year with William Byron. Byron is second in the regular season standings on top of that, and he is currently sitting 65 points behind us. And I think he's actually in third in point. No, he is in second still. Chase Elliott, though, is 15 points behind him. And then also Christopher Bell is 10 points behind where Byron is at. Martin Truex Jr. is right there in the mix as well. He's another 14 points behind Elliott. So, I mean, it's tight, 2nd through 5th in the regular season standings, but a 65-point lead now. That was a massive points day. We did not get any stage points at stage 1 in that race, but we did win stage 2 and win the race, so we scored 50 points, and William Byron didn't get any stage points in the race, so that's why we were able to gain quite a bit, and he finished 33rd, so he only scored 4 points for his actual race finish. So now we have to not blow a 65-point lead in these last 6 races. The problem is we have 2 road course races left that we know that we're going to have to capitalize on stage points and hope that whoever ends up winning the race, or at least the drivers behind us in points, 2nd through 5th, don't compete for the win and score a lot of stage points in those races as well, because we're probably going to lose to them in those 2 races, which means tonight at Pocono is going to be very important for us, especially in this first stage, because I believe it is only 30 or 35 laps in stage 1, and we did qualify pretty well. Qualified in the 10th place position. I think the car is going to be really fast. I didn't practice, but it felt fast in qualifying, especially with the rest of the field. Chase Elliott will be on the pole for today's race. He's trying to go for his 4th win of the season. Of course, he won this race in real life in 2022. Denny Hamlin on the outside of the front row would have won this race if he didn't fail inspection. He'll be starting in 2nd. He is now the last driver in on points above the cutoff line. He is 15th in points. He is the 2nd to last driver above the cutoff line. But going into Atlanta 2 races ago, he was 19th in points. So he has gained 4 spots in points in the last 2 races. That's how tight things are. Right around 15th to 20th in the standings. Kyle Busch is on the outside looking in now, even though he was on the inside looking out for a while. He is starting inside of row 3 in 3rd. Larson also winless on the outside of him in row number 2. So there you see, you got 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in the starting order, all without wins this year, trying to lock themselves into the playoffs. Martin Truex Jr., Chris Buescher in row 3. Buescher trying to pull off an upset. He's outside the top 20 in points. Hasn't had a great season, but you never know. He can get a win and lock himself in. He has won at Pocono before, his only career win up to the start of the 2021 season. He ended up, or 2022 season rather. He ended up winning at Pocono in a fog-shortened race. Ryan Blaney's first career win also came at Pocono. He'll be starting on the inside of row 4. Kurt Busch to his outside. Of course, this is kind of the start of the races last year where Kurt Busch was concussed and he did not run the rest of the season, so it's going to be interesting to see how he runs here, because this game, typically, however the drivers seem to run in real life at this track, or at the tracks we go to, that's seemingly how good they are here, and I think that's why you see Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch up at the front of the field for the start of the race. Then you got Bubba Wallace, Kevin Harvick back in row 5. I think Wallace had a top 10 here, if I'm not mistaken, and then I'm not sure how Kevin Harvick did, but of course we're racing as Kevin Harvick, so that could obviously change as well. So here we go. Pocono, 160 laps, 400 miles for the M&M's Fan Appreciation 400. Cormac, Billy Kramer, Santiago Kid, Darth Vader Rules, Star Wars, Patrick Shadley, Davion West, Justin and Ash, and others. Welcome into the stream. Green flag is in the air, just 30 laps in stage 1, and we are underway at the Tricky Triangle. Harvick quickly going to try to jump to the bottom and block his teammate Eric Almirola heading into the first turn. I thought Kyle Busch was going to try to take it down to the apron there, going into turn 1. Does get alongside his teammate Denny Hamlin for position. Harvick wants to slide back up into the outside lane, not able to do so. The draft is going to be so important at this track today as Harvick lost 1 spot to Suarez. Not sure how this car is going to handle in traffic, which is going to be interesting because obviously qualifying there was no traffic and caution is out on lap 1 right off the exit of turn 2. It must have happened behind Harvick. So an early caution in today's race. And that's going to eliminate some laps here at stage number 1 as the green flag is going to be back in the air again. Harvick trying to charge, having the preferred lane down on the bottom into the corner. Just gets to the inside of Bubba Wallace. And Chris Buescher takes it 3 wide, moves back inside the top 10. He's up to 8th. We'll see if we're going to get through without a caution this time around.
All clear.
As they file off into turn 2, a couple cars getting squeezed a bit wide. Harvick clears Buescher now for 8th place as we stay green. Seth Thomas, welcome into the stream also. Just got to hope a caution doesn't come out after we cross the start-finish line, or I should say before we cross the start-finish line if the leaders get there. Harvick to the inside of Kurt Busch in the 45. Trying to make sure Kurt doesn't side draft him at all as he goes all the way down to the inside of the racetrack. Now will pull back up in line behind him. So he was not able to clear him. It was going to be difficult with Ryan Blaney there. Harvick in that middle upper groove in turn 1. Trying to get a little bit better corner exit speed. Mark DeBar is also welcome into the stream. Car's definitely tight in dirty air. Wasn't bad when we were getting up to speed on the opening lap. Late with the downshift that time into turn 3, but a great corner for Kevin Harvick as he gets up off the exit very well. Right in line behind Kurt Busch. Busch pulls out of line. I don't know if he thought he had a run on Blaney or what happened there, but Harvick is easily going to be able to clear him for position before they get into turn 1. Harvick can't get that car to turn in turn 1 though, unfortunately, and Kurt's going to get right back alongside of him again. They're not going to be able to clear. Harvick going to be able to stay in front of Kurt Busch by the time they get into turn 2, it looks. Oh, contact off turn 2 up there. I think Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson got together. Blaney's got a run on the 5 into turn 3 as they'll be side by side now. Harvick definitely seems like he is better in turn 3 than anybody else on the racetrack. Yeah, I think in qualifying it was going like 190 into turn 1. 198. There wasn't really much draft there either. Trying to downshift to 3rd gear in turn 1 this time, see if that maybe helps a little bit more. Just trying to figure it out. Down to the apron that time. Big dive into turn 2. And that actually worked out for Kevin Harvick. Look at the run he got. I think Busch and Larson about made contact in turn 2 again as well, which helped those guys out. Harvick closing in, and now he's in the draft of Ryan Blaney on the long pond straightaway. .202 miles an hour that time into turn 1. We do have stability help on in this race as well, so that's probably another reason why the car is on the tighter side of things. Not sure if these guys are going to be able to make it on fuel in stage 1 or not. That'll be interesting. You got side-by-side battle for the lead going into turn 2. Chase Elliott under pressure. Can't tell who that is that got underneath him, though. I don't think it's Denny Hamlin. I think Hamlin's in third. They're still side by side for the lead into turn 3. Harvick charges hard on the entry to the corner that time. And they're still side by side off the exit of turn 3 as they enter the main straightaway once again. Blaney pulling out a line, kind of similar to what Kurt Busch did when Harvick was closing in on him. Larson to the inside of Kyle Busch. It's Truex who's in second, by the way. Larson trying to get by Kyle Busch. Can't do it. Side by side there. It's just so hard to complete the passes, it seems. Manual transmission. Yeah, I always use manual in this game. Into turn 2. Larson couldn't get by Busch. It allowed Blaney and Harvick to get around the 5. Busch is on the inside now, trying to get by Denny Hamlin. That's going to allow Blaney. Almost went 3 wide into the middle. Larson to the inside of Harvick. Got into him, and Harvick had to check up to keep from getting into the wall. A lot of passing going on right now, mid-pack at least. Blaney with the dive into turn 1 on Busch. Slides up. Can't quite make the pass on him. That's some fun racing going on at Pocono tonight. Larson took a peek. Harvick going to try to get by the 5. Into turn 2, and he does. Barely side drafts Ryan Blaney as he's on the inside of the 12 car headed towards turn 3. Busch with a run on the 5 of Larson as well. Harvick, can he slide clear Blaney? He does. 2 passes that lap for the 4 of Harvick, and he's up to 5th. Able to get a big run in the draft off Kyle Busch in the 18 as well. Blaney going low. Kurt Busch going to get to the outside, I think, of the 12 going into turn 2. Harvick with a big run on Kyle Busch in the 18 in front of him. Busch pulling out a line. Harvick to the outside into turn 3. Harvick didn't get a good turn in going to the outside lane that time. Hops back in line behind him again. Harvick looking low under Busch into turn 1. Kyle just sent it deep into the corner that time. Amazed how deep he was able to drive it into the corner. It was insane. I mean, I probably could have went a little bit harder, but I'm also somewhat hesitant too. I don't know how hard is too hard or too late to brake. I want to find out. Harvick gets off the exit of turn 3. Busch actually got a little loose. Went to the inside, allowed Harvick to get by him up high. Elliott's led the first 15 laps of stage 1 as we're halfway through the first stage. I don't know that Harvick's going to be close enough to try to draft. I think Hamlin's just close enough to the 19 and the 9 in front of him, but I don't know that Harvick is close enough to Hamlin. He's about half second behind. He's digging, though. I'm shifting in every corner around this racetrack. I've tried downshifting a couple times. Didn't even upshift that time to 5th here before getting into turn 3. Just stayed at 4th all the way in. Harvick into the wall. That's going to cost him some time off turn 3. It's going to give Kyle Busch a big head of steam, but I think he's a little too far back to try to make a pass into turn 1 anyway. Harvick's very fortunate he didn't blow a tire getting into the wall that time either. It was the first time he scraped the wall today. Gamer 66, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, this is I mean, honestly, I know it's only stage 1, but the racing so far today, this is maybe the most fun I think I've had on this game. Yeah, definitely a top 10 car. I kind of figured after qualifying I was hoping I'd be a top 10 car. This is expert difficulty too, so we need to go for everything we can. This is huge for Denny Hamlin just inside the bubble right now to try to get some points on Kyle Busch. He's just below the bubble, but they're so close to each other. That 2 points is a big difference, so Hamlin trying to keep the 4 of Harvick behind him and maybe even try to catch Truex and Elliott. He's so close to being able to do so. Harvick a little tight that time and had to lift. Not completely out of the gas. You can hear him burp the throttle off turn 1 though. And here comes Kyle Busch in the 18 as he's looking low. Harvick down to block. Harvick lost a little bit of time. A couple cars in front of him. Yeah, the car's getting really tight now.
I'll be ready to hit pit road in a few laps.
And here comes Busch. It's a second hit in the wall for Harvick. About a third of a tank of gas left. I still don't know if these guys are going to be able to make it to the end of the stage, though. Harvick drove it way too deep into the corner that time. He was trying to block the 18 of Kyle Busch. He entered so flat into the corner, he only made it because of how early he braked going in. Kyle Busch was able to make the pass for position. So he is back up to 4th. Blaney tried to make a pass as well, and Harvick into 3 allowed Kurt Busch and Kyle Larson. And Blaney's getting brake trade by a bunch of cars on the outside now. And Christopher Bell just got by him also.
Stay right.
Kurt Busch drives it up the racetrack right into Kevin Harvick, and Harvick's losing a ton of points here.
Got one left.
That wasn't even fair. No chance to make the corner when you got a guy driving up the inside of you like that. It was like what Hamlin did to Chastain at Pocono in real life. Harvick looking for a crossover on the 10 of Almirola. Blaney pulls low, gets a push from the 4. Harvick trying to stay in the draft behind him. Bell and Busch side by side into turn 3 for position.
Only a few laps till we pit.
That name down in the chat. That mustard tits. Thanks for tuning in. That's a new one. Oh, jeez. I had to say that once at least. Communist Legos, welcome into the stream as well. And this car's getting a little tighter on the long run. I don't like it. It was fast early, but starting to push hard on the right front. Harvick's having a much harder time trying to stay with these guys.
We'll be pitting in about 5 laps.
9 laps to go, stage 1. I'm still unaware.
Stay right.
Almirola just drove right into the 4.
Got one left.
And Suarez took the 4's line away as well. That was a double whammy. I think we'd be alright if we weren't getting rammed into the wall in turn 1. That's happened twice now. And it just kills our momentum. We can't even stay in the draft with those guys when it happens. So now they're too far away and we're just having to play defense on the next car behind us. So when I was staying with the draft of the top 3, I was able to keep up with them. Big block there on Harvick to Chastain. It's, I don't know, if we short pit, and we're already outside the top 10, so it may be a little easier to determine if we should short pit or not. Just gotta hope it's a fast enough stop that we don't go a lap down. Pit road closes with 2 laps to go in the stage also. And the earlier we short pit, the more of a chance we have of potentially winning the stage. The AI pit during the stage break, though, they're going to have a couple lap fresher tires, and we're not going to get stage points. So at least we can maintain track position.
We got about 5 laps of fuel left.
Being where we're at, we started 10th, we got up to 4th. So, I mean, if we could hold on to about 11th or 12th, I don't have any doubts that we could get back up to where we were, but now Chastain runs the 4 up into the wall. The sad part with that is we're going to blow a tire one of these times if they keep running us into the wall like that in turn 1. Even if I try to give them the spot, the second car in line runs me into the wall. So, I mean, it's all give, no take from the AI here at Pocono in turn 1 if they do have a run on the main straightaway. Harvick back to 14th now. All tires are up on the 4 car at least. Drives it way too deep into turn 3. He's just slipping and sliding around like crazy right now. He's going to stay out one more lap at least. We'll 25 laps in. Just got to hope you're on the lead lap too at the end of the stage if we did end up getting into pit stops. Harvick trying to go to the apron in turn 1, trying a little bit of a different line. I mean, helped the car turn at least, but I don't think it was very fast going down there either. First golf round 2023 is in the books. Yeah, I've been going through some withdrawals over the last week or so. I really am itching to get back out there. Harvick will pit this time by with 5 laps to go in the stage at the line. I think the pit road speed limit is 55 miles an hour, so he will get down to pit road speed as he gets to the commitment line. It's a very long pit road here at Pocono. He's going to hope he's going to stay on the lead lap. The hopes by pitting now is that if everybody else has to pit before the end of the stage, and he could hopefully cycle back inside the top 10. I don't know that he's going to cycle all the way back into the lead, but this is the hopes, is that he can get some stage points here. No adjustments on this first stop because the car is really good for about the first 15 to 20 laps. It's going to be really fast again when we get back out on the track. Yeah, I wasn't going to try to risk it, so I still don't know how far we can go on fuel. We had a caution, too, a little bit earlier. Harvick coming out of the pits. Oh, boy. Here come the leaders. And there they go, but Harvick's got fresher tires as he is going to get back out in front of Chase Elliott off of turn 1. That was close. Oh, man, I know how hard it is to pass. We have fresh tires, though, so that's good. Harvick going to try to make up some time here, so he's still on the lead lap. Truex has been right behind the 9 this whole time. He just hasn't been able to pass him. He got to the inside of him once when we were up there. And we've got some cars pitting off of turn 3. They're coming to 3 laps to go in the stage, so pit road not closed that time. Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr. Denny Hamlin at least staying out of the pits in the top 3. Where will Harvick cycle? How fast was his pit stop and how much time can he make up on these fresh tires? 2 seconds and about a lap on Elliott. The good news is we're going to be on the lead lap at the end of the stage. I don't know if we pit or not during the stage break, though. That's going to be an interesting question, because we're going to have 5 laps on our tires already, and I know it's going to be more difficult when we get about 15 to 20 laps in. We're only going to have a couple lap pressure tires at the same time, so I think I might have to just stay out. There's Bubba Wallace in the 23 car trying to get up to speed into turn 1. That was a great corner by Kevin Harvick. All the way down to the bottom. Picks up the throttle. I'm not sure where Wallace was running. Kyle Busch was in 4th. He's about 6.5 seconds ahead of us. Should have pitted a couple laps earlier than I did, and then we'd have more of a chance of actually cycling up there. Couple seconds a lap faster. Sorry, I'm making a bunch of mistakes in my commentary tonight. I apologize. Harvick's about a second ahead of Wallace right now. I think he's going to be a little too far back to try to get any sort of drafting help off the 4. A lot of cars on pit road. Where will Harvick cycle? He's hoping he gets back in the top 10. He's up to 8th right now, so short pitting by just 1 or 2 laps looks like it may help. We have 2 to go in the stage right now, so pit road is now closed. So for anybody who didn't pit before, we'll have to pit now. Suarez trying to get up to speed. Harvick will get around him for 7th. Busch is cycle ahead of Denny Hamlin. That's big for him. Hamlin was in 3rd. Now he's back to 5th. Harvick is almost a half second ahead of Suarez. Wallace is close enough to draft off the 99. Harvick may have to play defense for about a lap or so on Suarez and Wallace if they can get some drafting help together and work together, and Harvick's not going to be fast off turn 3. As he was in the wall there off the exit of the corner, and Suarez has a run on him. Heading into turn 1, final lap of the stage. Kyle Busch to the lead. The rest of the leaders that had to pit just did. Harvick is in 4th. Right back to as high as he has been running in the running order. Where did Chase Elliott go? Chase Elliott and Martin Truex Jr., who were P1 and P2, aren't up there anymore. Harvick just needs to hold Suarez back for another corner, and he'll end up 4th in the stage, 7 seconds behind Kyle Busch. Into turn 3, Suarez going low. Harvick way down to try to block onto the curbing in turn 3. Green-white checkered flag in the air, and Kyle Busch is going to lead and win the opening stage at Pocono. Harvick will barely hang on to 4th. Alright, so we pitted a lap or 2 before him, and we were able to get some extra track position there. I'll take it. Kyle Busch wins the stage. I think that might be his first stage win. Second stage win of the year for Kyle Busch. But a much-needed stage win as he came in behind the cutoff line into the 6th to last race of the regular season. But only 2 stage wins this year for KFB. Definitely an important one to say the least. He ends up in 1st, Denny Hamlin 2nd, Kyle Larson 3rd, Kevin Harvick 4th, Daniel Suarez 5th, Bubba Wallace 6th, Kurt Busch in 7th, 8th was Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell 9th, and Michael McDowell going to round out the top 10 here in this opening stage of the race. And we're going to stay out of the pits during the stage break here, and we'll see how this next stage will end up going. We'll advance to stage 2. We will not pit. I'm sitting backwards for some reason. Oh, I think it gave me damage. Why does it do that? I hate that so much. Green flag back in the air. I don't think the damage actually registers if it's under caution like that, but it just kind of sucks to look at that all the time. Especially when I've had a clean race. It's going to be interesting starting on the outside. Harvick started on the outside on the initial start. He lost a spot or two, but then he ended up getting him back when he was on the inside lane. We had a caution on lap 1 earlier. 65 laps in stage 2, so they're going to have to pit probably twice in this stage, considering they didn't go 30 laps earlier. Fuel only? Yeah, I mean that you're probably right. Oh, I don't know though, because we made up. I mean, we went from 14th to 4th, pitting a lap or two before the rest of the field. So I don't know. It's tough to say for sure. These top 3 though, they're going to be tough to beat today. Harvick might be braking a little too late into the corners right now, pushing just a little bit too hard. Kurt Busch has a run into turn 3. Side by side for the lead. Hamlin to the inside of Busch. Comes Chase Elliott back in the mix again as he gets to the inside of Kevin Harvick, but can't make the pass on him. Harvick way down low to try to block the 9. And back up to the top to block Bubba Wallace, who had a big push in that outside lane. Elliott tags the 4 going into turn 1. Probably in the top 10. Yeah, we're in 6th. This is going to be interesting. Just trying to cut everybody off. Bell on the inside of Elliott for 5th.
Got one left. All right, keep it high. All right, hold your line.
Man, even like 1 to 2 lap older tires make such a big difference. Because the speed's still there. We're hitting 199, 198 into turn 1. I think the fastest I've seen was 202. He gets stuck on the outside in the corners, though. They do not care if you're there. Yeah, I'm shifting. Late break into turn 3, side by side between Harvick and Wallace. Wallace holds clear off the exit of the corner, and Harvick right back in line behind him. So Harvick knows he's going to pit twice in this stage. When do you pit, though, is the question. Big run for the 4 to the inside of the 23 into turn 1. Had help from Eric Almirola. Got to slide up. Almost turned himself. That didn't work. Why is it that when they do that to me, they just drive in a normal line off the exit of the corner, but when I do it, I about turn myself into the wall? Like, I don't understand why the physics in this game can't apply to everybody in the field. Doesn't make any sense. I just pile drove the wall in turn 2 there. Well, a good finish to stage 1, but not a good start to stage 2 for Kevin Harvick. Earl Arnold Jr., thanks for tuning into the stream. NASCAR Cup Series 2311 Racing, welcome as well. Ace of Spades, I see you in the chat. That's just ridiculous. I mean, I came down into him a little bit because I didn't know he was there, but then you could tell when I was out of the gas trying to let him go that he was still in it, driving up into the side of us. Yeah, we're going backwards right now. That's not good. Definitely going to have to make a wedge adjustment before the next stop. It's a 2-stop stage for everybody. Got to keep that in mind. Just when do you pit that first time if you're Kevin Harvick? Trying to make up the time you need to hopefully get into the lead before the end of the second stage. I mean, we're getting passed on the outside, too. Austin Dillon going to get around. I feel like I am not running my best right now for whatever reason in this stage. I'm overdriving the corners like crazy, but then when I'm actually hitting my marks, I'm getting driven up into the side of. It's like if I don't drive it in deep into the corner, they can't get around me, but I'm losing so much time to the cars in front of me simultaneously. Chastain dives into turn 1, gonna make a pass cleanly at least for 16th. Moving Harvick back to the 17th place position. I think I'm gonna pit at lap 15. Hopefully I don't lose too many spots before then. So Harvick will pit at lap 15. It's a 2-stop stage. And then we're gonna pit during the stage break this time too. So a 2-stop stage, and we're going to also pit during the stage break. Going to make a wedge adjustment on this first stop of the stage. I'd like to make it to 20 laps, but at the same time, I think I'm going to lose too much time before then. It's crazy that we could keep up with them on equal tires. We have 2-lap-old tires, and they're blowing around us. I mean, it was 2 seconds a lap faster, and that was like 26, 27 lap difference on tires when we first pitted. So, I mean, it makes sense that, like, 2 laps could be a 10th or 2 a lap. It's probably why we're getting passed. Especially with the draft. Probably makes it even worse on the straightaways. Boy, Truex is really falling off. He didn't get any stage points in stage 1, despite pretty much running second the entire stage. Byron in 20th. I don't think he got stage points in stage 1 either, though. Truex to the outside. Harvick saw him. Getting out of harm's way right now. Tried to slide back in line, get a little bit of draft into... I overdrove the corner that time. Way too hard. Got into the back of Byron. He got a bit loose, but held on to it. Burton trying to get by Harvick on the inside, couldn't do it. Custer, though, to the bottom. Is he going to try to take it 3 underneath Burton? That's interesting if he does. Harvick just... I am way too tight right now. I feel like the car got tighter. I hope it wasn't because of the damage, because that damage was not my fault. Like, the game spun me under the stage break. The speed's still in the car, but the handling feels a lot tighter than it was before. Harvick back to 23rd. Busher won Pocono 2016, yep. Yeah, kind of like a fog shorten. Harvick just toughing it out for right now. Only going to have to go about 2 to 3 more laps. Big block on Custer getting into the corner. He'll be able to stay in front of him all the way through turn 1. Pulls to the inside. BJ McLeod up high. Maybe 3 wide into turn 2. That's going to be interesting back there. Alex Bowman in the middle. Harvick holds his position in turn 2. Had 2 cautions today. One on lap 1 off the exit of turn 2. In the middle to the back of the pack. It was behind us after we started 10th. Going to take a round and a half of wedge out of the race car when we do make that wedge adjustment during the next pit stop. R6, welcome into the stream again. Everybody's only pitted once. Nobody pitted during the stage break. Harvick and Bowman making a little bit of contact. I stalled Bowman out and allowed for Custer to get by him on the outside. Good grief. I thought I was actually going to make that corner, and I didn't. I don't know how many times I've gotten into the wall now. On my own, I think I've only gotten into the wall like 4 times. Still not good for 43 laps, but luckily I haven't blown a tire. And then I've also gotten kind of put into the wall by another car a couple times too. Clearly overdrove turn 1. That car did not want to turn at all. That was a slow fade into the wall. Custer and Bowman get by. Reddick back at 27th, not having a good start either. He's more comfortable on points, but not completely comfortable. Consider where he's running right now. Harvick staying out one more lap. It'll pit the following time by. It's weird that the right rear is wearing out because the car does not feel loose at all. It feels super tight. It just doesn't turn. I don't know why the rear tires are wearing out the way they are. Tyler Reddick completely blew around Harvick on the inside lane through turn 1. So green flag stop incoming for Harvick this time. We have 50 laps to go in stage 2. So now we could go 25-25 to the end. Really hoping the wedge adjustment's going to help. It needs to, because we're going to be giving up quite a bit once the rest of the field pits after we pit. 55 miles per hour is the pit road speed limit. Harvick will get down with ease. And he is on pit road for 4 tires and fuel, and a round and a half of wedge will be coming out of the car to make an adjustment.
I'll be ready to get pit road in a few laps.
We're on pit road right now, Spotter. Pit road in a few laps. As I'm on pit road. Yeah, that's true. Could be the shifting, burning the tires off the car. I mean, there's no way I have to shift. I mean, I'm not going to have the straightaway speed if I don't shift. There go the leaders. Definitely further behind than what we were when we pitted in stage 1. Harvick up to try to block Austin Dillon as he's getting up to speed right now into turn 2. Gotta hit our marks this time. And hope that wedge adjustment's gonna help out. Again, a round and a half wedge taken out of the car. Look at the speed difference here for Kevin Harvick in turn 3 as he blows by Brad Keselowski and Martin Truex Jr. in 14th and 15th. I think Truex was in 18th the last we saw. So he's picked up some spots. Harvick's got good speed in the race car when he's on equal tires. Don't let that be lost. He finished 4th in the stage for a reason. Yes, his strategy late in the stage, but he was racing as high as 4th before he started falling back in that first stage as well. We've got a good short run car, we just don't have a good long run car. Which is a problem when we've only had one caution per incident in this race. But now we need it to stay green at least till everybody cycles through, because otherwise they're going to be trapped a lap down. Had an accordion line going on the back, the main straightaway. Harvick down to the apron in turn 1 that time as he gets by Ryan Blaney, Daniel Suarez. Suarez maybe looking to go side draft the 4 of Harvick. Harvick down on the inside trying to get away from him a little bit. Charges it hard into turn 2. Makes the pass on the 99. Getting the run on Haley. Just clears McDowell off turn 3. Michael McDowell's still in the top 10 in 9th. He's had 6 top 10s this season. And he's up to 18th in points, kind of out of nowhere. He's been on a good streak ever since we started to get into more road courses. At Sonoma, he had a good finish. Road America, he had a good finish. Had a top 5 at Atlanta on a super speedway. Good run at New Hampshire, too. I think he had a top 10 there. So he's had 6 top 10s, but I think 4 of them have been in the last 6 races. And our track that kind of races like a road course when it comes to the shifting aspect here at Pocono. Considered an oval, but playing into Michael McDowell's wheelhouse so far. Harvick checked up a little more in turn 3 that time as he started pulling closer to Kyle Busch. Gets to the inside of Joey Logano. About to get back on the lead lap here before long. We'll back up in line behind the 1. Or sorry, the 22 rather. Oh man, just about turned Bell. That would not have been good if we got a caution out of that. Good save by Bell. Bogs the 4 down a little bit. Not as bad as it bogged down the 20 of Bell though. It's under duress from Hamlin and Logano now. Turn 2, Harvick gets by Kurt Busch, who is in 3rd. Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott 1st and 2nd right now on the leaderboard with Larson in the lead. Elliott led the most laps in stage 1, but ended up finishing just outside the top 5. Just trying to stay in line with Larson. You saw Larson kind of peek down towards the bottom a little bit there. Look how far back Harvick was and still gets by Elliott through turn 2. Has a run at Larson to the inside, now heading towards turn 3. Pass is made. Harvick back on the lead lap. Wait on the leaders to pit. Which I would imagine would be anywhere between lap 25 to 30 in this stage. Probably closer to lap 25. I think Harvick will cycle back in the top 10. I don't know that he's going to cycle back to the lead. And even if he does, he's going to get freight trained again. We fell a lot further back than what we did back in Stage 1. Stage 1, I only fell back to 14th. I fell back to 27th here in Stage 2, though. That was even after restarting in 4th. But we also had a couple laps on our tires, about 5 laps on our tires before the stage, too. Definitely made a difference. .900 horsepower next gen. Thanks for tuning in. Sucks Pocono doesn't work online. I haven't tried it. Is it like the draft that doesn't work, or is it the people online trying to race the track? I could see the drafting effects not working online in this game. Just knowing the game itself. Don't see any of the leaders pitting this time by. Way back off of turn 3. The NFL guy, thanks for tuning in. Oh, it doesn't even, like, show up. Did not know that. Yeah, because honestly, this is one of my favorite tracks I think that we've raced so far in NASCAR 22. I still haven't been to all of them, but we had some good racing back in Stage 1. The very start when everybody was on equal tires. It stinks that when the AI try to pass you when they have a big run, then they just kind of use you up. They're committed to going no matter what, even if it means dooring you into the wall. It happened in turn 1. Didn't really happen anywhere else on the racetrack, though. I think it's just because of having that bigger straightaway, too, though. They were able to build up a lot more momentum there than what they were in the short chutes between turns 1 and 2 and then 2 and 3. Harvick way wider in turn 3 than what he really wanted to be that time. It's a wide arc. Saw Bubba Wallace on pit road. There's Kyle Busch in the 18. He restarted in the lead. Will Harvick be able to get around him? Busch getting up to speed still in turn 1. Harvick is going to be close. He's going to be able to draft off of him. Busch still getting up to speed. Harvick going to the inside. And he will clear Kyle Busch before they get into turn 2. Harvick did downshift there. That costed him. Problem is, he's got 11 lap older tires than Kyle Busch. Oh, Busch all the way up into the wall. Nearly in turn 3. There's Hamlin. Kurt Busch, who was in 3rd. I believe Harvick's going to be in front of him once Kurt gets up to speed. Maybe not. Nope, not quite. Never mind. Got alongside of him, but couldn't actually clear him. And the right rear is still burning off the car, and maybe a little bit more because of the wedge adjustment. But it's not as bad. I mean, you can see Harvick cycled up to 4th again. Austin Cindric is leading. I still don't think he pit yet. So next time by the start-finish line, Harvick should be in 3rd. Should be as high as he has been in the running order today. He's 3.5 seconds behind Kyle Busch, who leads again. I mean, you have to give credit to that 18 team's pit crew. They have been fast today. That's how he won Stage 1. And that's how he's taking the lead here midway through Stage 2. Almirola cycled into the top 10 to 6. Chastain up to 7th. When we pit during the stage break, I think that's going to help us for the final stage a little bit more. Because we did not pit during the stage break in Stage 1. I don't care where I finish in the stage, I'm not staying out again. That way we'll have fresh tires at the beginning of the stage. I think we'll have a better chance of winning the race than winning Stage 2. Well, this says high up in the running order as we've been. And if you look at the guys that are in the top 5 other than Kevin Harvick, who's in 3rd, none of them have won yet this season. So there's a good chance we get our 9th different winner today, the way things are looking right now. I do like the handling of the car better now than what it was, though, in the first part of the stage before the wedge adjustment, so I think that that's going to help us quite a bit. Denny Hamlin going to make a clean pass. Toyota's running 1, 2, 3 on the racetrack, followed by 2 SHR Fords now. 3 cars getting a run on Harvick off turn 1. Harvick getting some drafting help, though, off Hamlin, who's in front of him. Chastain to the outside of Almirola, getting a draft off Harvick. Almirola might have pulled out of line a little early. McDowell right behind the 1 car as well. Oh, Almirola just ran right into his teammate. And tagging the wall at the right rear corner panel was Harvick. Could have been a little worse than what it was. I think that's the 2nd time Almirola's done that today. It's about the 3rd or 4th time that's happened to us. Might have downshifted a little early there. Oh, contact now between Almirola and Chastain. Chastain was on the inside of the 10 that time, though. Justin Haley up to 8th. Kyle Larson cycled back to 9th. Incidentally downshifted to 3rd. That will definitely spin the tires a little more there. Oh, boy, Haley almost into the back of the 4 off the exit of turn 3. I don't think we're going to be back in 27th, though, this time when we go to pit. Because we're only 8 laps away from our stop. We're still in 7th. I mean, we're going to lose some spots, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. Still in 7th, off turn 1, lap 32 in stage 2. Chase Elliott in the mix on the inside of the 5 of Larson. Larson going down, trying to side draft the 9. Harvick and Haley get together off of turn 2. Contact made. And here comes Elliott. Whoa, what a dive by Chase Elliott. 3 wide into turn 3 as he passes both Harvick and Haley. Larson gets by on the outside. Harvick's back to 10th. Bubba Wallace still behind him in the 23. Harvick getting a little bit of a draft off Larson. It's going to keep him ahead of the 23 after Wallace pulled out of line trying to make a pass. Byron's up to 12th. Stenhouse up to 13th. Harvick's in the wall. Completely missed turn 1. I tried downshifting it to 3rd that time, trying not to hit the wall, and still got in the wall. Ariel Diaz, thanks for tuning in. Truex still stuck back at 14th. I know he's got the speed. I mean, there's a lot of Toyotas in the top 10, especially having 1, 2, 3 right now. William Byron still behind the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Onto the main straightaway. I mean, Harvick could pit about lap 27, 28 if he really wants to. Byron with a dive, thought he was going to run into the side of the 4. He did not. Harvick back to 12th. Field pit about lap 26, though. That's the thing. Not going to have as fresh of tires the sooner we pit this time. But they're only going to... I mean, they're going to pit with like 6 or 7 laps to go in the stage. They're going to be able to run it pretty far before they have to pit their second time. Which means Harvick will be on fresher tires for a longer period of time this go-around. Going down trying to block Christopher Bell. He'll give him the outside. He doesn't want to get ran into by any of these guys running behind him. And now he's going to go high to block anyway. Truex slides almost into the 20. Bell picks up the throttle, gets by Harvick. Truex got stuck behind the 4. I'm not going to make any adjustments this time around. I think the car is better than what it was, though. It's not pushing up to the wall, which is nice. So I think that's another reason I'm able to keep my momentum up on the straightaways, and even when they get around me, I'm able to at least draft off them for another straightaway before I lose them in the next turn. I wasn't even able to do that before. So we're trending in the right direction. Martin Truex Jr. up to 13th as he gets by Kevin Harvick. Harvick's gone 21 laps on these tires already. Cindric to the outside, drafting behind the 4. The 47 getting a push on the bottom from the 16 of A.J. Allmendinger. Cindric getting by up high. Stenhouse now Rolla got held up. Allmendinger, rather, got held up on the bottom. Harvick stays in front of him. Harvick in 15th still. He'll stay out of the pits this time by. He's definitely not going to fall back to 27th, and he was able to cycle to 3rd from 27th. So where will he cycle if he pits? Boy, that was a big block off turn 2. Stenhouse had to lift to get off the back of the 4 of Harvick. Harvick just completely missed turn 3. As Stenhouse did too and ran right into him. Allows for Eric Jones to make a pass. Harvick down blocking the 16 of Allmendinger on the main straightaway. Allmendinger's got a mirror full of Joey Logano in the 22 as well. .29 to go in the stage right now. Harvick will stay out one more lap. Allmendinger gets by. Logano to the outside, squeezes by the 4 of Harvick. Turn 3, Custer gets by Reddick, but can't get by Harvick. Reddick on the inside still. Suarez down to the bottom behind the 8. Harvick going down to block into the corner. Keeping all three of them behind him. I think we'll be able to make it on field 27 laps, so Harvick will pit this time by. And he'll be pitting from 19th place this time, where he pitted from 27th on lap 15. And he definitely went more laps, about 3 more laps this time. Got to get to pit road speed here, which is 55 miles an hour, and does. Hits 54 at the commitment line, and he is in. No adjustments this time around. 4 tires and fuel for Kevin Harvick. 3rd stop of the day, all under green flag conditions. I'm liking the position we're in right now. I think we're doing all right. So now we're going to run this out to the end of the stage from here. 27 laps, which is about a full field run. Then we'll pit during the stage break. Everybody else will stay out. They'll have about 6 to 7 laps. I'd say anywhere between 6 to 8 laps on their tires. We'll be at the tail end of the lead lap. I think the leaders will get into lap traffic for the end of the stage, so we might not be all the way at the back position-wise, but we will have to pass all those cars again. Hopefully we can make up as many spots as we can and then pit at the same time as them the next time around.
Stay left. All clear.
So Harvick cycling off of pit road right in front of the 15th place car of Jones. Side by side for 13th. In front of him was Cindric and Truex. So now Harvick's got the freshest tires in the field again, looking to take control. And the rest of the field probably not going to pit until we get closer to lap 90 in this race. Between laps 85 and 90, we're going to see them pit. So he's going to be able to go for about, man, close to, gotta do my math correctly here, about 15 laps, 16 laps he'll be on fresher tires for. 27 laps might completely kill the right rear. I don't think so, because we went 23 laps that run. So we're only going to have to go 4 more. It'll make it through the run. I'm not worried about it blowing. I don't think it'll blow the full run. Gotta hit my shifts, gotta keep it off the wall. That'll help save the right side tires a little bit, of course. And we'll see where Harvick will cycle here before the end of stage number 2. Does he have a chance to win the stage? .2 seconds ahead of Cindric at the line. I want to see where he's at when he crosses the start-finish line next time by. Versus the 2 of Cindric. Charges on the 20 of Bell. And the draft behind him off of turn 1. Pulling out of line. Kind of flatlined it a bit, but he did clear him with ease. About 3 or 4 car lengths clear into turn 3, it appears. Byron up to 11th, looking to get some stage points this time. Harvick able to get some draft off the straightaways, which is big for him right now as well. 2 seconds faster than Cindric that last lap. All the way to the apron in turn 1 as Harvick passes Byron, now in line right behind the 23 car, Bubba Wallace. Pulling out of line on the 10th place car, not for position.
Clear, clear, clear.
Chase Elliott has not made his way to the lead like he did at the beginning of stage 2. Of course, the field was more compacted together with that restart to start the stage, which is part of the reason why he was able to get back to the front. After the second set of pit stops, he finds himself in 7th. So again, everybody pitting twice in this stage, which means they'll have 3 stops total. Well, Harvick's already pitted his 3rd time. I think if I would have pitted like 2 or 3 laps earlier in the last stage and then pitted during the stage break, that probably would have left me in a better spot. I definitely think I could have been higher than 27th when I pitted the first time, and I could have won the first stage too. So I'll remember that when I go into the custom schedule season, because we will do one more season of NASCAR 22 once the actual 2023 NASCAR season starts. Right in line behind Larson. Going to pull out of line on the 5. Byron has gotten by Wallace for 10th just now. Likely passed him in turn 1. Big run going down into turn 1 for Harvick.
Clear. Car right.
Behind Chase Elliott.
Clear.
Pass made. Michael McDowell up to 5th place. 34 car has won at Pocono before for Front Row Motorsports. Again, that was when Buescher won in 2016. We were talking about that a little bit earlier on in the stream. Harvick staying in 4th. Didn't upshift that time before having to downshift into turn 3. And actually, McDowell up to 4th. He just passed Denny Hamlin in turn 3. 20 laps to go, stage 2. Harvick with a big run on his teammate Almirola. 200 miles an hour into turn 1.
Clear.
Just gets by all 3. I didn't know if Hamlin was going to move up or not, and if he didn't, I think Harvick was going to get into the back of him. But he was pulling out a line trying to cross over the 34, and it costed him. Got to remember, lap traffic could hold up the leaders as well, which could help Harvick out, because Harvick should get by the lap cars pretty easily, considering he's got fresher tires versus everybody's on equal tires right now elsewise. Chastain up to 3rd. He's got a fast race car all of a sudden. Trying to take control in the stage. He started outside the top 15 today, too. He didn't get any... I can't remember. I think he might have got stage points in stage 1. Wasn't by much. Keegan fan, thanks for tuning in. We short pitted. Nothing major. Just need it to stay green. Let it cycle through. Harvick going to clear Chastain, who is in 3rd.
Clear.
He definitely seems as if he's running down the 45 and the 18. McDowell could be too, though. Black Ace, welcome into the stream also. Harvick about to make passes for position this time around before pit stops. Not something he did before. Favorite genre of music? Definitely metal. I'm more of a metalcore person, but even, I mean, really, like, most metal I'll listen to. I don't listen to any, I don't really listen to too much deathcore or anything like that, but I like a good mix of the screams and the cleans.
Car right.
It's just anything fast, really. Fast pace, up tempo. I was more aggressive in turn 2 that time. Kyle Busch still leading as he's done for most of this race. Surprisingly, both him and Elliott are probably split in laps led. Busch won stage 1. Harvick closing on the 18 car. Kind of caught in the dirty air behind him. Busch trying to block as Harvick pulled out of line. Harvick to the outside as Busch protects the bottom now into the first turn. Busch gets into the 4. Harvick still clears him off of turn 1 to get his lap back. Busch was putting up a little bit of a fight there. The rest of the cars should be easier to pass considering they're at the tail end of the field, so they're much slower than what Kyle Busch is. Not sure what lane to pick here. Started on the outside, really arced it off going into the middle of the corner. 3 wide by the exit. Harvick is going to clear them all.
Got one right. All clear. Got one right. Still there. Clear.
Harvick up to 36 as he gets by Greg Biffle in turn 1. Who do I think the Truck Series play-by-play person's going to be? I wish it was me, but outside of that answer, actually it will be me every Friday night, Saturday afternoon on the channel. Be sure to tune in. Tune into the channel for those live race commentary streams. It's probably going to end up being Jamie Little. Well, yeah, I think it's going to... It could be Adam Alexander. I don't think it will be Adam Alexander, and that's only because the Truck and the Xfinity Series have a lot of doubleheader dates in 2023 from what I looked at the schedule, so... For that reason, I don't think he's going to commentate both races because his voice is probably going to be shot at the end of every Saturday night. But and he still does the pre-race too on race day. Race day or race hub, whatever. I think it's race day when Fox is airing the races too. So I don't think he's going to do it. I think it's probably going to end up being Jamie Little. Dale Campbell, thanks for tuning in. Because I think Ralph Shaheen works for NBC now. With the Supercross races, and I think NBC has that stuff now. Otherwise, it'd be cool to see him in it. I'm not worried about saving the right rear, honestly. It's wearing out a little bit more than it did before, but the car was super tight before, and it's not tight anymore, so loose is fast if you can hang on to it. I have a lot easier time hanging on to this than what I did when the car is ridiculously tight. It does seem as if Kyle Busch is stuck behind Timmy Hill, BJ McLeod, and Greg Biffle back there. Harvick going to clear Josh Bilicki into turn 1 for 34th. Again, the rest of the field still has to pit before the end of Stage 2. Harvick has already pitted twice in the stage. Everybody else has pitted once. They'll be pitting in the final 10 laps, as we'll be coming up on 12 to go this time by in Stage 2. Harvick was 4th at the end of the first stage. Short pitted. One stop there, but he only pitted a couple laps before. This is a little different, pitting twice. She does call ARCA races right now, unless they get somebody else to call ARCA. Because I think some of the ARCA races are televised on MAV TV, aren't they? Maybe I don't watch the ARCA races normally, so I don't know who that guy is. I've heard his voice before, but I don't know who it is. But anyway, maybe they get that guy to do ARCA and Jamie moves to trucks. Well, when Rick Allen for Speed Channel did ARCA and did trucks at the same time, so I mean, I don't see why she can't do ARCA and trucks at the same time. Only when ARCA is at the same track that the Cup Series is at, which really isn't that many races a year. No, I don't think Mike Joy would want to do the Truck Series. I think he's good with the Cup only. The days of him commentating any series outside of the Cup Series are far from over. Or, sorry, long over. Chris Myers does Race Hub. I don't think he does. I think Adam Alexander, at the track, I think he does Race Day. That's what I meant to say. But they usually have a Race Hub special before Race Day goes on the air, don't they? For like an hour or so. So Harvick just cycled ahead of Denny Hamlin as we have green flag pit stops going on right now. Ross Chastain, Kurt Busch, and Kyle Busch all still ahead of Harvick. So it looks like Harvick should be in fourth once everybody pits. Yeah, I'm going to say it's probably going to be Jamie Little. Harvick will cycle back inside the top 5. He's up to 5th. Problem is, we still have 10 laps to go in the stage. I don't know that Harvick's going to stay inside the top 10. The hopes was that he was going to be in the top 10 at the end of the stage. I think this could have worked if I pitted during the stage break instead of staying out. Almirola just passed Denny Hamlin. There's no way Harvick's going to hold on. Just going to have to run this out. Finish outside the top 10. We finish outside the top 10. We're going to be pitting during the stage break regardless of where we finish stage 2. Going to stink for Harvick that he's not going to get any stage points, but it's just what's going to happen. Denny Hamlin got by Almirola, who was stuck on the outside behind Harvick in turn 1. Harvick in the wall in turn 2. That was not what he had intended to do there. Luckily, did not blow a tire. Still in 5th place. Cycled out to 4th. I mean, he can try to hold on as long as he can. Blocking the heck out of Almirola and Haley on the front straightaway, but still have 8 laps left yet. 7 laps left, excuse me, in the stage. Almirola, Haley get by in turn 1. There's just no chance Harvick's going to get any stage points. Bell's going to have to wait at least another corner to get by Harvick. There's definitely going to be a handful of cars, more than that even. A lap down at the end of the stage as Christopher Bell got turned by Kevin Harvick off turn 2. Second time those two have made contact with each other today. In turn 2, right off the exit of the corner. Elliott is in 9th. Harvick back to 8th.
Only a few laps till we pit.
No, I don't see Matt Yoakum doing it. I don't think I've ever heard Matt Yoakum call any NASCAR races. From a commentating booth, at least. Elliott gets by on the outside of Harvick. Harvick slides in line behind him. Truex in 10th. Wallace in 11th, right behind the 19. Kaz Grala just ran Harvick up the track going into turn 3. That stalled out the 19 of Truex, who got stuck behind Harvick, and Wallace is up to 9th place. Harvick still in 10th, with 6 laps to go in stage 2. There's no way he's going to hang on to the end of the stage, though. He did Xfinity, oh, maybe 1. I mean, I didn't know that. Now Harvick is back to 11th. It was worth a try. Made things a little interesting there, but we'll try it again in the final stage. The difference is Harvick will pit. At the start of the stage, he'll have about 10 to 11 lap fresher tires to try to get his way to the front of the field at the beginning of stage 3. Byron not in position to get any stage points. Not a great point state at this point for Harvick. I guess 7 stage points is better than none, of course. Larson going to make a pass on Stenhouse for 11th. Oh boy, Byron out of nowhere to the outside. In turn 2, making a pass. McDowell's fell all the way back to 15th. He was 4th at one point in this stage. Should make it on field at the end of the stage. I'm not worried about that. Only 4 more laps left at the line.
We'll be pitting in about 5 laps.
Shouldn't go a lap down either. Although we do stuff like that, we might. Making contact with Allmendinger. Four to go. Make that 3 laps to go at the line. 7.5 more miles Harvick will have to go in this stage. And the stage ends once the top 10 cross the start-finish line. So he won't actually have to go the full 3 laps. As he blocks Daniel Suarez. Into turn 3, Harvick up into the wall again for the 2nd straight lap. Sorry, turn 1 rather. Down to 3rd gear is what I meant to say. Trying to keep it off the wall. Gonna let Bowman go. Two more laps for Harvick. No sign of the leaders. Next 3 cars behind Harvick are all on the lead lap still. We'll definitely get around him for position. Maybe lucky break and win the race. I do think there's still a chance we can win this race on strategy in the final stage. I know the same strategy did not work here in stage 2, but on one stop it worked in stage 1 because it was like half the distance, but stage 2 it didn't work. But if I pit during the stage break, that's going to be the difference between what I did at the end of stage 1 and what I'm going to do at the end of stage 2. So there is still a chance. Alright, just making sure none of these guys are on the lead lap. We'll let them all go. One of them, at least that time, which was Keselowski. Austin Dillon, Harrison Burton, Joey Logano didn't get that lucky. Final lap of stage 2. Stage will end when the race leader crosses the start-finish line, and there they go. Harvick into the wall again, too. So he drops back to 24th. Top 10 have crossed the start-finish line now, and the stage is over. We'll take a look at the Stage 2 results here. I think Kyle Busch might have won again, and he did. Kyle Busch sweeps the stages at Pocono, winning Stage 1 and Stage 2, and he came in 10 points behind Almirola, and he has outpointed Almirola by 15 points today. Hamlin, he is outpointed by 4, who is a couple points ahead of the 10. So pretty good for Kyle Busch. He may be back inside the cutoff line even if he doesn't win, but if he can win today's race, he'll be locked in and won't have to worry about where he's at on the cutoff line for the final 5 races of the regular season after tonight. So Kyle Busch wins Stage 1. Kurt Busch will end up 2nd. Ross Chastain 3rd. Denny Hamlin 4th. Christopher Bell in 5th. Eric Almirola 6th. Justin Haley 7th. Chase Elliott 8th. Martin Truex Jr. 9th. And Bubba Wallace going to round out the top 10 in stage number 2. On to the final stage we go. No adjustments coming up here. 4 tires and fuel for Kevin Harvick. And we're going to see if this will work itself out here in the final stage. It'll likely be a 2-stop strategy once again in the stage for everybody, but it'll be alternating most likely throughout.
Alright, no worries. We're still in this.
27 cars finished on the lead lap at the end of the stage, so that is where Harvick will restart. 65 laps in the final stage, same amount that was in stage 2. Green flag is in the air, and we are underway for these final 65 laps at Pocono. We've only had 3 cautions today. Big checkup going into the first turn. Harvick has 10 to 11 lap pressure tires on the rest of the field. BJ McLeod using the 4 car up a little bit in turn 1. Harvick had to lift quite a bit to keep it off the wall. And he's definitely going to go to the bottom into turn 2. Way down onto the apron. 3 wide off the exit of the corner.
3 wide, get 2 up top. 2 on the outside, you're 3. 3 wide.
Getting it to work, though. Got to get through these guys as quickly as he can. All lap cars he's dealing with for the time being.
Still there. Clear, clear, clear. 3 wide, get 2 up top, car right. 3 wide, 2 outside. Clear all around, stay left, 3 wide, 2 outside. Still there. Clear, clear, clear. 3 wide, get 2 up top.
Big slide job here from Harvick. Clears LaJoy on the inside of Cody Ware for 25th.
Clear, clear, clear. Clear, clear, clear.
Hard on the brakes in turn 3 in the middle of the corner still to keep it off of Eric Jones. 3 wide off the exit.
2 on the outside, you're 3.
Harvick trying to get away from Austin Dillon in the side draft. Pulls back up in line behind him. So they head towards turn 1.
Outside, you're 3. Stay left. All clear.
Oh, Allmendinger getting a push from the 4. Now he's going down to try to draft with Keselowski. Keselowski thought about hopping in line, but didn't realize Harvick was there until the last second. Big dive bomb by the 4. Passes 3 cars in turn 2.
3 wide, middle.
Gets into Bubba Wallace and Michael McDowell a bit. And up the middle into turn 3. That's a tight squeeze. McDowell almost lost his car. And gets a bump draft, it looks like, from the 4 of Harvick again. Big block. Byron gets blocked by, I believe, Buescher. It's either Buescher or Stenhouse. It was Stenhouse, actually. No, it was Haley. My bad. Wasn't even a blue car at all. It's Justin Haley in the 31 who blocked to stay in front of the 24 of William Byron. Byron gets a push from the 4. Pulls out of line maybe a little bit too early. And Harvick is going to get by him on the outside. Big dive into turn 2. Just cleared the 24 to the bottom. And then the 19 and the 31 cleared up high. Kevin Harvick is up to 10th. And he'll be going for 3rd. 3 wide under Reddick and Hamlin into turn 3. Reddick almost into the back of Kyle Larson. Side by side for 2nd place further up the way. Kevin Harvick is up on the inside of Elliott now. Side by side for 6th on the main straightaway. Elliott holds on. Larson drafts by Harvick as well. Harvick in line behind the 5. Dark Crypto, welcome into the stream. Almirola blocking the 9 of Elliott. Got a little loose off turn 1, and Harvick clears him for 5th. Hi, Stephen King 92 Hammer. Thanks for tuning in. Kevin Harvick is up to 4. Chastain got to the lead. Remember, Kyle Busch won the first 2 stages, but he is back to 5th place now. And Elliott closing quickly on him, heading into 3. Kevin Harvick has not been higher than 3rd place all day today. He will get to 3rd off turn 3 on Kurt Busch. Chastain, Bell, 1-2 at the front of the field. And Harvick, who has not led, may have a chance to lead here before long on the outside in turn 1. No PJ1 there, so that lane probably doesn't work too well. Overran the corner just a bit. He did keep it off the wall at least. Harvick was 4th at the end of stage 1, but fell back and didn't get any stage points after finishing 23rd in stage 2, 24th rather. He's on the inside of Christopher Bell for 2nd. Gets around him. Gonna try to get by Chastain, who slides way up the track, almost into the wall, and Harvick is gonna get to the lead as a result. Now Chastain has to block Bell. First lap led today for Kevin Harvick. It took 102 of the 160 to get to the front, but he's there now. After pitting during the stage break when nobody else did. Gave himself 10 to 11 lap fresher tires, and it only took him about 7 laps to get through the field. No bonus point for leading lap, unfortunately. Only for the stages, and we at least got 7 stage points today out of a max 20. Harvick's got a chance to really build this lead up, too. We're probably going to see the field pit anywhere between lap 110 to 115. I think Harvick should pit with him. I think the first pit stop we should pit with him. And then maybe short pit the final stop if they catch us before then. I don't plan on making any more adjustments. Unless I split it the same way I did before. Pit at lap 15, then just go 27 and 27 to the end. Or 20... What was it? 20... Gotta do my math here. 25 and 25 to the end. I think I went 23 and 27. But I can go 25-25 if I really want to. Harvick hasn't had the fastest car today, but short run speed, we have a potential race-winning car. We were keeping up with the leaders early in the race. So on equal tires, I could probably fend them off for 15, 20 laps, and then it's going to get pretty bad those final 5 laps of the run on both runs. That's another reason why I want to pit with them, I think. We're just going to have to keep an eye on when they pit. They pit even 1 lap before us. They're going to be 2 seconds a lap faster, so they'll make up a little bit of time. Good news is Harvick has more than a 2-second lead, but then you have to have faith in the pit crew to have a decent stop. Pit crew's generally pretty slow for yourself in this game. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content if you haven't already. Chase Elliott up to 4th. For qualifying on the pole, leading a lot of laps early. Down to the final 55 laps of the M&M's Fan Appreciation 400. We'll be racing NASCAR 22 again tomorrow on the channel. And we'll be going to the Indianapolis Road Course tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Great corner by Harvick. Maybe the best I've gotten through turn 1 today. This is about where we're going to find out on equal speed how fast this 4 car really is once everybody pits around the same time. Every lap we go past lap 15, though, that's less and less laps we'll have to take on the next couple runs, so I might even consider that as well. Try to play a little bit of catch-up. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be really a guessing game of when we should pit. We're not going to have a whole lot of data to go off of with this being our first race at Pocono in this game. Yeah, and clean air is helping big time right now, too. For sure. The draft effect does help a lot more, but because we're faster than everybody else with clean air, I'll take. So we have fresher tires. If we were on old tires or equal tires, I'd much rather be in traffic. You can really just see the leaders getting off turn 1 as Harvick gets about 2/3 of the way down the second straightaway on the racetrack, headed into turn 2. I think I might take it more towards lap 20 for the first stop. I don't know, man. Or we could go 25 now. We can go 25 now and then go 15-25 or 25-25-15. It's so tough. I don't know what would work. Because we can't really play defense that well on old tires. Almost got in the wall in turn 2, pushed it a little too hard. Long run on the first, yeah. I'm scared I'm gonna lose too much time though. That's what I'm scared about, really. That's why originally I wanted to make the short run the first run. It'd just be on equal tires to the end of the race with those guys. I don't know what my gut feeling is, Dark Crypto, honestly. My gut instinct would be to pit at lap 15, which is where we're at right now. I mean, if you want to talk about like our first instinct, I don't want to pit. I mean, they haven't pit yet, so I definitely don't want to pit right now. It's still going to be 2 stops for everybody, no matter what. I'd much rather be the faster car at the very end trying to play catch-up rather than playing defense, because we've gotten ran into the wall in turn 1 a handful of times already today, and I have a bad feeling one of these times I'm going to blow a tire when that happens. Surprised I didn't when it happened in the first 2 stages. We're so far ahead of them, it's kind of hard to tell when exactly they're going to pit until we start lapping cars that are coming out of the pits. I missed my line a little bit there, running the outside. First half of turn 1. Still see the leaders out there yet. About an 11.5 to 12 second lead for Harvick. Still sitting at 3 cautions on the race, just 1 per incident all the way back at lap 1. Kind of similar to what happened at Sonoma, where we had a lap 1 caution, the 2 stage breaks, and that was it for the yellows in the race. Kyle Busch is already pit because he's in 25th. And he has been cycling to the lead quite a bit today. He's a lap down right now. Kurt Busch is right behind him by about 2 seconds. So the Busch brothers have pit. We'll see if Kyle can maybe cycle back up towards the front. He was at least in 5th. Maybe even a little further back than that. He was in 5th when we passed him, at least. But that was about 10 laps ago. JD, thanks for tuning in. A little over a third of a tank of gas left still for Kevin Harvick at this point in the run. Ross Chastain is still going to be on the lead lap. He is in front of Harvick. He was leading before Harvick took the lead from him. So Busch will not cycle out in front of the 1. Closes the gap on him, though. Gonna go a little bit further.
Only a few laps till we pit.
Busch right behind Harvick. Long pond straightaway. There's Almirola and Larson coming out of the pits. Harvick holding up Busch. I don't think all the leaders have pit yet because Chastain is still in 12th. Busch couldn't get by Harvick in turn 1 there either. This cost them a lot of time to the 1 of Chastain because Busch was only a few seconds behind him. There's going to be contact! Oh my gosh, both cars almost turn. Right off the exit of turn 2. Near catastrophe for Kurt. Should say Kyle Busch and then Kevin Harvick. Larson gets by the 18. Harvick still in front of everybody off of turn 3, another lap.
Only a few laps till we pit.
It is the 20th lap of stage 3. Harvick trying to block the bottom. Maybe a little too low into the middle of turn 1. Larson is going to get by to the outside instead. But both the Busch brothers still behind Harvick. Larry Cardwell Jr., thanks for tuning in. Kyle Busch has to be fuming right now after winning the first 2 stages and losing a lot of time here in stage 2. Contact with Almirola and Harvick. Harvick sliding to the wall off the exit of the corner. A second lap in a row. Somebody's been on the outside of him.
All clear.
Almirola all the way on the outside through turn 3, and Harvick still ahead of the Busch brothers off turn 3 as he stays out at least one more lap.
Only a few laps till we pit.
Lap 21 in stage 3. A little over a quarter tank of gas left for the 4 of Harvick. Got a train of cars right behind him. Harvick, contact with Kurt Busch. Busch got to the outside. Harvick was sliding up. He was on the brakes still when he made contact with Kurt. Kurt still makes the pass. Kyle's still stuck behind the 4. He's still in the top 10 at 7th. And there's Stenhouse. Contact there with the 4. Harvick will stay out another lap. Blocking Allmendinger, who's now in the top 10 as he gets by Busch, or at least alongside of him for 8th. So, I mean, we're committed. This point in the run, this is going to be the long run of the race right now for Kevin Harvick. Truex going to wash the 4 up the track. Harvick kept it off the wall. Body slammed him. Dinger was in 8th, now he's in 13th. This is the first time Kevin Harvick has led all day today. Plan is to make it to lap 25. Harvick staying extra wide in turn 1, hoping that he doesn't get used up. 5 cars going to pass him on the bottom. Chase Elliott back to 18th. He was in 4th when we started the first cycling of stops in the final stage. Side by side in turn 2 up ahead. Joyce squeezes by Harvick on the top. Harvick getting out of everybody's way on the main straightaway this time. Harrison Burton, Joey Logano, Austin Cindric all behind him. Well, they're not going quite as quickly as I would have thought they were going to, so Harvick's going to get right back in front of them. I guess I'll just block him to the bottom into turn 1. They get around him towards the exit, so be it. Burton tried to. Might have had to lift to keep it off Harvick off the exit of turn 1, though, and he's going to have to stay behind him. And in fact, he's going to lose the top. Cindric and Jones going to get by. Logano went to the bottom behind the 2, and he'll also get shuffled out of line and lose a few positions. Cindric gets by in the 2 on the outside. Harvick slides up. It'll be lap 25 next time by. So Harvick will stay out one more lap, and then he'll pit.
We'll be pitting in about 5 laps.
So Harvick will pit this time by. He went 15, then 23, 27. He's going to go 25 on the first run. And then he'll have to make a decision whether he goes 15 or 25 for the next run. I think it's going to depend on how many spots he's going to be able to get. He'll have to attack on those fresh tires. 21st place car of Cody Ware just got by him. Harvick's going to have to make sure he'll have the bottom into turn 3 no matter what happens here. Eric Jones looking to the inside for right now. Well, Harvick going to have to block because he's going to want to pit this time. 22, 43, and everybody else going to get by to the outside. Kevin Harvick on his way onto pit road. Try to get all he can without speeding here. Down to 55 miles per hour at the commitment line. 4 tires and fuel. No adjustments for Harvick at the line this time. Why does it... Look at the lap counter. It says lap 100 even though we're on lap 121. That is off. Give it the time, Pocono Raceway. You're a little bit off. By the way, those trees on the front stretch look a lot taller. I think it was more cleaned out when I went. I don't remember the trees being taller than the grandstands, that close to the grandstands when I was there in 2021. Well, Harvick going to lose the lead here. Now he's going to try to play catch-up as he's going to have about 10 lap pressure tires again. There goes Chastain. Actually, goes the top 10, really. All right, Harvick in 18th. Time to go. Everybody has to pit one more time as we have 40 laps left at Pocono. Chastain's going to be so far ahead of everybody else. Might have downshifted a little early there. Felt at red line there for a quick second. Did that on me one other time earlier. Harvick closing a lot in turn 2. I'm going hard through turn 3. Just clears Bubba Wallace and Corey LaJoie. Gets by Wallace for 17th place off of turn 3. Rest of the field probably going to go till about lap 145 before they pit. Anywhere between lap 140 to 145. And they're going to hit pit road. Oh, Harvick checked up a little more than he wanted to that time. He side draps Brad Keselowski before entering and diving into 3. Brad kind of made the 4 run a little bit tighter into the corner. This was kind of nerve-wracking, I'm not going to lie. I wanted to be in this situation trying to play catch-up. I'm just hoping I didn't fall too far behind. We're definitely the fastest car on the track right now. Couldn't pass Allmendinger there. Going to get to the outside of the 16. Really hope we can outbrake him going into turn 2. Oh, man, we did. I couldn't get all the way to the bottom, but we did clear him, though. Clean pass. That was very close to both cars potentially wrecking with contact in turn 2, but Harvick Really one of the first passes he's made on the outside in the middle of a corner today. Go, go, go. Pedal to the metal right now. The lap counter glitch was, it was the leaderboard on pit road. It said 100. Our lap counter, though, is correct, which is at 125 right now. So we'll have 35 laps to go this time by. Harvick bleeds the brakes pretty late into turn 3. To the inside of William Byron. Byron holds the 4 pretty tightly. Kyle Busch all the way back to 13th. Again, he won the first 2 stages of this race, but he was stuck behind Harvick for a while. Elliott pulls out of line maybe a little early. Harvick going to get by him on the outside. Clears the 9, blocks him down to the bottom as he gets to the inside of Stenhouse as well. And I think Stenhouse also going to get by Stenhouse in turn 2. Nope. Elliott is still underneath him. May lose a couple positions with that train of cars on the outside as well. Harvick up to 11th. Nope, we're still green. Gas is on the right brake. I'm trying, man. We're going. We're making passes. I just don't know. Chastain's so far ahead of everybody else in the lead. I mean, I could see the second place car right as we were exiting turn 1. They were in the middle of turn 2. But Chastain is probably another 7-8 seconds ahead of that. Big dive down to the apron. Slide job to get by Bowman. Clear. Harvick back inside the top 10 again for the second time in stage 2, or stage 3 rather. Bit of a power slide in the middle of the corner there. He stays behind the 11 of Denny Hamlin. Hamlin getting a nice run on the 45 of Kurt Busch as well. But Harvick just able to brake a lot later into the corners, having about 10 lap fresher tires. And he's up to 8th. Reddick is up to 7th after being outside the top 25 at the beginning of stage 2. Are we going to get by him in turn 3 for 7th? We're definitely going to get a good finish with this strategy. I don't know if we're going to win or not. Late dive on McDowell. Not going to clear him. That's costly. Because now he's going to have to drop back in line behind him and get back in the draft. McDowell trying to snake back and forth to keep the 4 car from drafting. Harvick should get by him easily in turn 2, though. And is now up to 6th. Larson 3rd. Almirola 4th. Truex 5th. Not sure who is in 2nd. Maybe, I think Bell, actually. I think Christopher Bell's in 2nd, and then Chastain is the leader. "31 laps to go." 10 to 15 laps before everybody else pits. Chief Bart, thanks for tuning in. And yeah, I am keeping track of points. We're 65 points ahead of Byron for the regular season standings coming into the night. Outscored him 7-0 in the stages today, too. So looking to expand on that points lead and maybe even get an 8th win of the season here for Kevin Harvick. And add 5 more playoff points to the total through the first 21 races. 29 laps to go, trying to play catch-up. He's in 6th right now. Not sure exactly how far off the race lead he is. He pitted at lap 25, so he's got about 12 laps on his tires right now. We get to that 15 to 20 lap mark, it really starts to fall off, but he still has about 10 lap pressure tires than everybody else. Kind of like at the start of the stage. Came out of the pits in 18th. He's passed 12 cars per position. Had to lift off turn 2, barely kept it off the wall. She's pushing really hard right now. Oh man, I clipped the grass there that time and the car just slid up the track. Yeah, I can't be making mistakes like this. Gotta dig deep. That was a lot better that time. Slendy 7003, thanks for tuning in also. Come on. That interval's not changing much on Truex anymore. Wonder how much we've burnt the tires out at this point in the run. I think we fell a little bit too far back. Should have just tried to pit at the same time as them. Going to be lap 15 in this run next time by. I think we're going to go 25 first run, 15 second, and then 25 to the end. Harvick's going to pit this time by. He's in 6th. He's kind of stalled out. I don't think we're going to get a caution. We haven't had one for incident since the first lap of the race. Field is extremely spaced out right now. Harvick into the pits. Really trying to get all the speed he can down onto pit road, and that was the most aggressive he's been on his pit road entry today. No adjustments, 4 tires and fuel. Lap counter's correct that time, lap 135. 25 laps to go at Pocono. Final stop for Harvick. He's going to short pit from 6th. Time trial laps to the end from here now. This is it. We're on these tires to the end of the race. Longer the field stays out, the more time we're going to make up. Come on. There's Bell and Chastain. Harvick's definitely going to cycle to the lead. Just how big of a lead is he going to have? And how much faster are the rest of the cars going to be once everybody cycles through? Hopefully they'll catch lap traffic that slows them down here in the final less than 25 laps of the race as well now. Bell is closed in on Ross Chastain. And look at how much Harvick gains on both of them through turn 1. Pulls out a line on Bell. Bell getting a draft off the 1 car though, so Harvick not going to clear until he gets into turn 2. He'll be able to get by the 1 of Chastain as well. Just to the inside of Garrett Smithley. Turning sharply off the exit of turn 2 as he clears him. Harvick back on the lead lap in 27th. Get to the lead and rain. Yeah, just rain. I do not have the overcast skies on for this race either, so it wouldn't even look like it's going to rain. There are no clouds in the skies for this one. That one cloud. Yeah, the longer they stay out, the better for us. Because the sooner they pit, the less of a lead we're going to have. I don't care if I'm 2 seconds slower a lap or a half a second. I wouldn't be able to hold them up very long anyway. Christopher Bell just got by Ross Chastain for the lead as well. Through turn 3. Kurt Busch is already pit. So Harvick did not pit many laps before Kurt Busch, because Busch just pit. He's in 24th right now. Harvick is about 8 seconds ahead of Bell. So that scares me a little bit, because they stayed out not as long as I thought they were going to. Harvick pitted about 4 laps ago. I mean, maybe if we only have 5 lap older tires, it's not going to be too terrible. Maybe we can hold on. I don't think we will, though. I don't think there's any hope here. There's Larson. Harvick going to be in front of him. Oh, man, got into Biffle in turn 1. That's going to slow Harvick up. It'd be nice if we did get a caution, though. Not now, though. After everybody pits. That'd probably be too perfect for us, though.
Car right. Clear, clear.
And Busher's having an off day. He's back in 37th on speed. To watch the cars pitting off turn 3. BJ McLeod just checked up for the cars pitting in front of him. Harvick blows around him on the Long Pond straightaway. There's Chastain just coming out of the pits. He's on the bottom in turn 1. Him and Bell. Harvick's not going to get there. Bell stuck behind Ty Dillon off the exit of turn 2. Grollo probably going to try to pit this time. Bell got into the wall off turn 3, slowing himself up. Harvick back up to 8th. There's Chastain and Bell. 6th, 7th. You gotta hope that maybe lap traffic is gonna be the only thing that can help Kevin Harvick and hold these guys up. Is Bell about 3 to 4 tenths of a second quicker that last lap than Harvick? Got lap cars coming out of the pits right in front of the 1 and the 20. Harvick getting a draft off Timmy Hill in the 66. I mean, maybe Bell and Chastain battle, and it could allow Harvick to close in. I just keep track of points on a Google Docs page and then just type it into an OBS scrolling text at the top of the screen. I mean, the good news is Harvick has drafting help. The problem is he's just not fast enough to get around these guys. Having 5-lap older tires, that's the big difference right now. Yeah, I should have just pitted when everybody else did, and maybe we could have won that way. I think giving up too much time in that first run was what cost us. First run of the final stage. We have decent pace that I think we'll be able to get a top 10, but unless we get a late yellow, not going to have a shot to win. And everybody's definitely going to be good on fuel to the end here. Down to 15 laps to go. And the battle for the win is between Christopher Bell and Ross Chastain. If we get a caution before the end of this race, Kevin Harvick will pit. But I feel like that's asking for a lot. We have had some overtime finishes. Wouldn't be completely out of the realm to get a caution late in this race, but I don't think it's very likely. Larson has caught Harvick. He'll challenge him for third. I think he's going to be too far back to catch Bell. Chastain for his first win of the season. You never know. He's going to get by Harvick pretty cleanly. I mean, maybe if they get held up in lap traffic enough up there, maybe Larson does have a shot at the win and lock himself into the playoffs because he is still winless. It's going to be a good points day for Harvick. We're looking at the regular season championship. I didn't have a race-winning car. I had a short run. A good short run car that was capable of a race win. If we see an overtime finish here, maybe there's a chance, but I'd still end up pitting if we get a caution. Because I feel like I'd just lose more positions on the restart. Problem is, even if we only have 2 laps left, I don't know that I could get all the way back up to 4th. It might be a lose-lose situation if we get a yellow. We do get a caution, and if we have like 10 or less laps to go. I mean, it took me 7 laps earlier. If we have anywhere around 5 laps left in this race, I think I still have a chance. Anything outside of that, though, I don't think I have a shot. 12 laps left right now. Caution takes up about 6 or 7 laps in this game. Spin gate. Almirola, Truex 5th and 6th. Lap car Garrett Smithley in there as well. Harvick in the wall off turn 2. Still has to make sure he doesn't blow any tires here, because it could get worse. Has to be smart to the very end. Try to break the draft from the cars behind him. 11 laps to go. Harvick way on the outside through turn 1 as Smithley gets by. Almirola giving a quick bump draft to Harvick, launching him out ahead of him a little further off turn 1. Harvick getting a nice draft off the 15 car as well of Garrett Smithley. Man, up into the wall again off turn 2. Almirola to 4th. Ten to go. Truex lurking into turn 1. Drala gets by as the lap car on the outside, but Truex does not. He'll still be behind Harvick. On to the next straightaway. I don't even know if we're going to get a top 10. I was thinking we were going to there at first. Now I don't really know. Yeah, my strategy was all out of whack in this final stage. We're just going to have to hope and pray for a caution now. 9 laps to go. We're still holding up Truex at least. Not going to block him anymore. Truex gets by on the outside. McDowell just passed Kurt Busch for 8th that last lap. Little over a second behind Tyler Reddick. And about 3 seconds still behind Harvick, but closing fast on the 4. Yeah, Almirola needs this solid points day. But you got to remember, though, Kyle Busch swept the stages. He ended up winning stage 1, won stage 2. And Almirola only had 5 stage points today, so he got outscored by 15 there. He's in 4th right now. Busch was in 13th. The last we saw, he could be a little higher up in the running order, could be a little lower. Harvick blocking Reddick. Slight contact between the 8 and the 4. Denny Hamlin in 9th. Chase Elliott 10th. Harvick remains in 7th in front of McDowell off of turn 3. Man, yeah, we're not going to get a top 10 anymore. Hope and pray we get a caution, I guess. There goes McDowell. Hamlin with a run. Elliott with an even bigger run. We'll get to the outside of the 11. And a draft behind the 4 of Harvick. Harvick's car did not stick at all that time in turn 2. But he keeps the 11 and the 9 behind him as they're still side by side and blocking. Busch in 11th. May still have a shot here at a top 10. Elliott backs out of the throttle before he ended up in the wall off turn 3 as Harvick slid up to block. 6 laps to go. Harvick's got to start playing a little bit better defense here, as we're running out of laps. He's trying to hold on to a top 10. I don't think it's possible, but you just never know. That was not a good corner. Off the wall into Hamlin. And Hamlin gets by for 8th. Harvick just completely blocks Chase Elliott despite not being clear. Almost put himself in the wall. Harvick doing everything he can to try to hang on to a top 10. Whatever happens, he can't cause an accident that brings out a yellow. Second place driver in points, Byron up to 12th. Elliott gets by Kurt Busch but can't get by Harvick. Through turn 3, Harvick hangs on. 4 to go at the line. Yeah, fuel's going to be fine. We have more than 5 laps left. 4 to go anyway. in the race. Yeah, Harvick went a little too far wide that time, but Elliott still didn't get underneath him. Attempted to, but couldn't quite get there. Kurt Busch, who's been fading in points as of late, trying to get a top 10 in a race in which he has scored some stage points. Harvick, almost in the wall, had to lift quite a bit off the exit of turn 2. Got to give a run into 3 for Kurt Busch. Harvick down, trying to block. Spinning the rear tires a little bit as he picks up the throttle off of turn 3. 3 laps to go.
We got about 5 laps of fuel left.
Hamlin driving away in 8th. Harvick just trying to hang on to a top 10 finish. Has to downshift to 3rd that time, trying to keep the car off the wall as he sailed it in way too deep. Kurt Busch is going to get by for 9th, so that's going to move Harvick back another spot to 10th. Harvick trying to get a little drafting help off the 45. That'll help him pull the 9 a little bit. Two to go this time by. Considering how fast Elliott was at the start of the race to qualifying to the pole, he's got to have a faster car than Kevin Harvick by a lot. I mean, same goes for Kyle Busch after winning the first 2 stages. Elliott down to the bottom. Harvick gonna block all the way to the inside. Late one, but he was clear. It was a clean one. Down into turn 1 they go. Side by side behind the 4. Harvick hanging on. I think they were holding each other up with a little side draft that time. Byron's up to 11th. He's maybe going to clear the 9. I don't know. White flag in the air for the leaders. 10th place, just getting into turn 2. Most intense battle for 10th you'll ever see. Harvick about got sent by Elliott after making a really late block getting into turn 3. Both cars nearly wreck. Caution comes out now. Race ends. We're on the final lap.
We'll be pitting in about 5 laps. We'll be pitting in about 5 laps.
Harvick could have gotten turned there. Elliott with another big run down into turn 1. Downshifts to 3rd. Oh, Byron to the outside. Gonna get by Harvick for 10th. Harvick sends it. That was not a good idea. Into the wall. Elliott gonna get by. I don't care, we're Chastaining it. I don't think it's going to work at Pocono. It's not going to work at Pocono. It does not work at every track. It was worth a shot.
We'll be pitting in about 5 laps.
I shouldn't have done that. I lost a couple extra spots. Too fast. You cannot Chastain at Pocono. Oh, man. 14th. I think we lost 2 extra spots after trying to Chastain it in turn 3. Too fast of a track to do that. Christopher Bell ends up getting the win as he beat Ross Chastain late by 0.6 of a second. 3rd win of the year for Bell. Chastain ends up finishing 2nd. Larson finished 5 seconds back in 3rd. Eric Almirola 4th. And then Martin Truex Jr. ends up finishing in 10th. Martin Truex Jr. 5th. Tyler Reddick ended up 6th. Michael McDowell 7th. Denny Hamlin 8th. Kurt Busch 9th. And William Byron going to round out the top 10. Our driver Kevin Harvick finishes 14th. 4th in stage 1. No stage points though in stage 2. We ended up with 7 total. Look at how many guys are spinning off of turn 3. He's trying to get into the pits after the race. What was that? The crowd's going nuts for him too. Like, oh, look at that. 26 cars finished on the lead lap. And nobody DNF'd in today's race. So, overall, we're actually going to gain a couple points or pull away a couple more points on Byron. I think Elliott outscored us because he had a lot more stage points than us, I do believe. But he is still, I believe, going to be behind Byron. So, if I'm thinking correctly, we're going to have pretty close to a 70-point lead going into the final 5 races of the regular season. But knowing how bad we're going to be on the road courses, not in the stage 1 or stage 2, but in the final stage specifically, that's going to be interesting to say the least how that's going to end up working itself out. We will be at the Indianapolis road course tomorrow on the channel. Taking screenshots there. So, yeah, Indy road course tomorrow, NASCAR 22. That will be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so hope to see you guys for that one. Thanks for watching tonight. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button as well if you haven't already for more daily NASCAR content, live race commentary streams for the real races on the race weekend once the NASCAR races start back up. These races during the week, except for on Thursdays, because Thursdays we watch some old NASCAR races. We call that Throwback Thursday. This week we'll be watching an old Daytona 500 again, as we've been doing all off-season long. You can vote in the community tab for what race you want me to watch this weekend. It is a vote between 1994, 1999, 1997, 1999, or 2002 this week. So we'll be going a little more old school with this week's live stream in the Winston Cup era. So be sure to, again, like, subscribe. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your Monday night, everybody.